Hi, it's Kira. Today is Sunday, February 18th. I recorded a video on February 14th, Valentine's Day, because I had got a call from the receptionist at my doctor's office warning me that the doctor had ordered a biopsy and that I would get a call from the hospital to book an appointment for a biopsy for me, breast biopsy, and at about 3 o'clock, after I recorded my video and posted it, I did get the call. It's booked for February 27th. So today is Sunday the 18th. The night of the 15th of February, it dawned on me, all of a sudden out of nowhere, that I didn't know what kind of biopsy I was having. And I didn't know for sure who ordered it. Like, I wasn't sure. I couldn't remember if the receptionist said the doctor ordered it, or it just had been ordered, or if the doctor had been told that. I didn't know who. I didn't know who, and I didn't know what kind of biopsy. So I was pretty upset because I just felt like I had no control over this process, that like the wheels were in motion and I was being expected to just say, yep, sure, yes, whatever, I'll be there. And nobody was telling me anything about it, really. So on the morning of the 16th, I called the hospital. I said, I have a biopsy on the 27th, but I don't even know what kind of biopsy because no one's told me. So she looked it up and she said, it's core needle biopsy. It says core needle right on here. A core needle, ultrasound guided core needle biopsy. I didn't fully realize there's more than one type. I had immediately thought when it happened that it would be a fine needle biopsy, and I'm fine with needles, that I'm okay with needles. But it's a core needle biopsy, which is a little more invasive, and I'm not recording this video to get anyone worked up about it, but I just want to empower the next person, just in case you were just blown over by the whole process and just said yes, 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 because you didn't know anything else to do except say yes. There might be some questions you'd want to ask, like what kind of biopsy? A few people in my life have suggested that I call the doctor, because if I don't know why, sorry, I'll backtrack. When I called the hospital, I asked what kind of biopsy, and I said, who ordered it? Was it like the radiologist took a second look? And she said, no, it was your doctor who ordered it. So a few people in my life have said, you can call the doctor and book an appointment to talk to her and ask her why. But I don't think there's anything she can tell me about her thought process, about her why. If that's gonna make me feel any better, I still feel like I have to do it. So whether she said she had a concern or an instinct, or just had an instinct to be overly cautious, no matter what she says, the result's the same. I'm expected to have a core needle biopsy on the 27th. So an ultrasound guided core needle biopsy is just a little, like a fine needle biopsy, they use the needle. With core needle biopsy, they make a small incision first, and yes, it's small, but it's still an incision. And the core needle biopsy is a biopsy gun that's spring-loaded, and it goes bang, click, click to get a sample. And most of the time they let you know, they click it for you ahead of time so you can hear that sound, so you're not scared or surprised when. And they numb you ahead of time, just like the dentist's office, so all that's well and good. But they poke holes in your mass, 4 to 6, to take samples from the edge, samples from the middle. It's a very, very thorough screening process. However, nobody's asking me if I want to do this. And I suppose in medical things, they don't think they need to ask. Medical procedures can just feel like this is what you need to do. This is the next step. They're not saying, hey, do you want to have a biopsy? Because of course you don't want to have one. So they don't even ask. And I don't know why exactly. I found that so triggering. But that night when I realized I don't even know what kind of biopsy or who ordered it, I did get pretty worked up about it. And I can't control the procedure. I can't control the outcome. So what I can control is how I feel about it. And I'm mad that I don't feel like I have any agency in this, that I feel like I don't have a say. Now, a really good friend of mine reminded me that of course I have a say. I get to choose this. I don't have to do it. I mean, the radiology report said, wait 6 months. But this will just put it to bed. So I'm going to reluctantly agree to do it. And so I can just have this silly 2% chance that the fibroadenoma is cancerous, put to bed once and for all. 98% chance it's not cancerous. Biopsy is the only way to know for sure. So I'm submitting to this. But I'm not happy about it, and I'm not going to pretend I am and reword it. Submit. Oh, don't use a word like submit. That sounds bad. I will use whatever word I want because this is my screening journey. And I can't, the temptation is to compare it to other people's journeys, and knowing other people who have actually had cancer, have had far more invasive procedures than a simple core needle biopsy. That doesn't make me feel better because this is my journey. This is what I have to do on the 27th. Nobody else is going to do it for me. And all I have to compare is my personal experience. And in my personal experience, this is the most, because I'm going to be awake for it. I have had one surgery in my life that was laparoscopic and I was blissfully asleep and unaware. This is going to be the most invasive thing that I go through while conscious. And some people may feel they don't want to know. That's why I put it in the title. If you don't want to know details, don't watch this video. Some people, you do you. Some people, ignorance is bliss. But for me, part of my anger is, had I just continued to operate on my assumption that it was a fine needle biopsy, that it was not a core needle biopsy with an incision, small incision, not to minimize it because I'm having trouble with it. But had I not asked ahead of time, as upset as I felt on the night of the 15th when it dawned on me independently that, oh my God, I don't even know what they're going to do. I know that had I got in that room, I would have felt like core needle biopsy was being sprung on me. And I would have been super upset and I might have actually left. I mean, because I don't know if it's early childhood trauma, but like this is super, super triggering for me that I'm not being asked. I'm not being told anything. It's just assumed that I'm just going to go and say yes, 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 yes. And I don't want to say yes. I'm forcing myself to say yes to it because I just feel like they're being overly cautious, and my personality is not grateful for over caution because it's stressing me out. It's robbing me of peace of mind right now. And I just think life's too short to be this miserable for a whole month just to be screened for something I probably don't have. Anyhow, but I'm going to do it just on that 2% chance that I do have something. But I'm mad, and the only thing I can control is how I feel about it. And if I want to be mad about it and angry about it and fixate on I'm not being asked, I'm being told, then that's my prerogative. That's the only thing I can control. And I hope I have a very supportive spouse who is not telling me not to feel what I'm feeling. He has been so supportive And he said, if you don't want to do it, you don't have to do it. And that's empowering to know I have that choice. That makes me more okay with doing it, being told I don't have to. If I get tough love from anyone who says, don't be stupid, of course you got to do it, that just makes me not want to. I mean, I guess that's very childish, reverse psychology going on. Like, if you tell me I have to, I don't want to. But that's the truth. And I'm glad I have had supportive people in my life that are like, I totally understand why you don't want to do it. And actually, you don't have to. Thank you. Thank you for saying that. I really appreciate that. Now, the third part of it is, of course, I've done my research because I'm more comfortable knowing ahead of time. Ignorance is not bliss for me. I would rather know what to expect than feel like I'm blindsided, because obviously being blindsided, like even getting the call, you need a biopsy, was blindsiding, considering my doctor had spoke to me on the phone in person on the 6th saying, you don't need to do anything for 6 months. And then the receptionist calls and said, a biopsy is being ordered. Like, that already felt like that was already triggering enough. So I want to know all about it. I don't want to be blindsided. So I don't know if this is the standard of care in Canada, but like all the research I've done about core needle biopsy usually involves leaving a small, just a tiny piece of titanium behind as a marker, so that they know for next time where they've already biopsied. And first off, I think that's kind of negative. No for next time. There's not going to be a next time, in my opinion. I'm not going to think that there's going to be a next time. So I just want to go through this, have the holes for the samples, which are quite small. Even though core needle is bigger than fine needle biopsy, these are still small holes. I just want to heal from that. I don't want anything left behind. And that, again, feels like something I can control and say, no, you're not leaving markers behind. So I don't know if that's the standard of care in Canada. I'm seeing lots of YouTube videos about the markers, or clips, they call them. Because I'm not getting communication until I basically arrive that day. I'll certainly let you know if somebody actually calls me up and walks me through it ahead of time. But if they don't, then all I have to rely on is my own research. And I keep hearing about these markers, this clip, this titanium they leave behind, so they know where they've biopsied for next time. Like, no, I'm not comfortable with that. That's something I can control. I don't feel like I can say no to the biopsy, because it will eliminate my 2% chance I will know for sure. So I'm forcing myself to say yes to that. But I can say no to the clips. I can say no. No. I just want to heal. I don't want anything left behind. That's something I can control, and it makes me feel good to know that although I'm going to do this, I'm going to ask them about this marker thing. And if it's a thing in Canada, I don't even know if it is. I've tried to do research that is, tell me if Canadians have had to do this. I can't seem to find that. I just hear it as a possibility from mostly American sources. So I don't know if it's a standard of care in Canada. I'm going to find out on the day, and I'm going to say no to that part, because that's something I can say no to. And I need to say no to something, because this is, like I said, I don't know if it's early childhood trauma or what is being triggered here, but I am super upset that this wheel is in motion, and I don't feel like I can. No one's asking me if I even wanted to start this ball rolling. It's just rolling downhill, and no one's asking me. Even though, of course, on the day of the procedure, they'll say, this is what we're going to do. Do you consent? And like I say, if there's a titanium marker that they want to leave behind, or 4 of them, because if they took 4 samples, no, thank you. No. That's where I'm going to say no. And so I just wanted to record this video to let people know there's more than one type of biopsy. And if it's ultrasound guided, there's still more than one type. Ultrasound biopsies are usually fine needle, which they actually don't even necessarily call a biopsy. They call it fine needle aspiration, but that's best for cysts and fluid-filled masses. But if you have a solid mass, like a fibroadenoma like I do, you may be scheduled for a core needle biopsy with a small incision, and the incision's small. You don't need a stitch. They'll just close that little hole they make with the scalpel with steri strips. But I go in the hot tub every day. I'm going to be told not to go in the hot tub for a few days because I've actually had a small incision. So, and that, I only know that because I did my own research. That's not because anybody thought to tell me. And I get it. I get the medical system is busy, and they know you could maybe, I guess they figure out that I don't know what they figure out, but nobody's taken the time to tell me. The doctor didn't even phone me. She got a receptionist to call, just as a warning, just in case the hospital phones, you're not surprised. And that just feels so impersonal. So impersonal. And like I don't have a say, but I do have a say. I absolutely do have a say, and I have decided to choose this, but I'm not happy about it. And like I say, the only thing I can control is my experience and my feelings, which are my own, and I'm allowed to be upset. You've got to feel it to heal it. So getting super worked up and having a meltdown or a panic attack, that might be something you can't control, and I'm not going to be somebody who says try not to do that, because I would rather encourage a person to feel their feelings than to try and stuff them down. You got to feel it to heal it. If you try and stuff down all your anxiety and pretend it's not there, that I think is toxic. So feel what you need to feel. Take that control, take that agency, at least with how you feel, and then make your decisions informed. Please ask, what kind of biopsy am I having? If they're just not, if they don't think to tell you, please be your own advocate and ask what kind. And if it comforts you to know about the procedure, look into it. After I've had my biopsy, I'll let everybody know whether this titanium marker clip thing is even a standard of care in Canada, because tons of YouTube videos mention it, and I haven't been able to find a resource that says, oh, we don't do that in Canada. Maybe they do, maybe they don't. I won't know until I actually go. And I'm just so glad I know ahead of time, because I've made my decision ahead of time to just say no to that part of it, because that's like, make it easier for you later. It's not easier for me. So no, thank you. No, I don't want that. So that's something I can say no to. And that makes me feel empowered. And that's my choice. And I'm just so grateful that it occurred to me out of nowhere. Shit, I don't even know what kind of biopsy I'm having. And those are just the two. The fine needle and the core needle biopsies are ultrasound guided ones. There's other ones. There's surgical biopsies. There's more, frankly, there's more serious biopsies as well. Like I feel lucky that it's just an ultrasound guided core needle biopsy. But I feel like I should have been told, and I just feel like I should have been included in the decision. But there's no point in asking my doctor why she decided what she decided, because the result is I still have to go do it. So I'm not even going to bother asking her. I don't even know her that well. I've only met her once in my life. So, screening is kind of anonymous. Like people are just herding you through a screening process, and these are the steps. I thought breast MRI was going to be, I thought I was going to get such a good scan right from the first procedure that I wasn't going to have to go through this over 1 month process. By the time I'm done this whole thing, it'll be over 1 month of anxiety. And I thought breast MRI was going to avoid that, and it didn't. I still needed the ultrasound. Still need a biopsy, apparently. That's just the journey I'm on, and I just wanted to let you know there's more than one type. You might want to ask if you are more comforted, unless you want to have questions sprung on you. I definitely watched somebody talking about their core needle biopsy, and she said she had no idea about the markers, and she had to make that decision, that split second yes or no decision while on the table. And if that's an upsetting concept, please ask all your questions ahead of time. Do the research you need to know. Like I say, the only thing I'm not going to do is ask my doctor why, because it doesn't matter. I still need one. So she wouldn't have ordered it if she's not going to backtrack and say, oh, you're right, I don't know why I ordered that, so let's cancel it. No, she's not going to do that. She wouldn't have ordered it unless she had a reason, and her reasons are her own, and I'm just going to let that part go. I'll keep you posted on this thing about the titanium clips or not. Thank you so much for watching. I just want to help other people alleviate the learning curve. There's a learning curve on cancer screenings, and I'm learning it firsthand as I go along. Big learning curve. Thanks so much.